Have you ever wondered what electricity actually is? Electricity is used everywhere today, such as in our devices, in our phones, in our laptops, in our cars, and even in our doorbells. But how do we capture electricity? How do we store it? And how do we control it? Let's begin by looking at it from a particle level and work us up to the big power lines which run across the country and the lightnings that reach down to Earth from the clouds. Let's think about tiny particles having a charge which is either positive or negative. Like with magnets, items of different charge or signs pull towards each other. But items with the same charge push each other away. Electricity, however, the effects are felt between the particles. For each charged particle, its effect can be found in certain radius around the particle. This is called their electrical field. But when charges move, they produce a magnetic field. Magnetics and electromagnetics will be discussed in another video, as well as the behavior and the effects which charges and electricity adhere to and can be described with complex calculations. Here we discuss the use of electricity in our daily lives and environment. So how do we capture electricity? In the previous video, I discussed how we capture the energy from our environment and originates from the Big Bang. This captured energy can then, with certain methods and devices, be converted to electricity. So for example, we can generate electricity from the energy the photons carry to Earth from the Sun. What happens then is that when a photon hits a semiconductor, which is a certain material, it changes the energy of the photon into electrical current as the material loosens up an electron. Other ways used to generate electricity is with wind turbines or dams. With wind turbines, the kinetic energy from the movement of the wind causes the blades to rotate, changing that kinetic energy to mechanical energy. This rotation turns an internal shaft which increases the speed of the rotation even further. This spins a generator that converts the energy to electrical energy or electricity. Dams work in a similar way. Taking an advantage of the gravity and the water cycle, it uses water to turn turbines which rotate a generator to generate electricity. So now we have some idea on how we can change energy into electricity. But how do we store it? Here it is important to note that electricity can actually not be stored, but it can be stored in other energy forms. These storage systems include different batteries, flywheels, compressed energy, and a hydro storage. However, any system has a limit on how much energy they can store. But how does electricity move all the way from the solar cells, wind turbines, or dams all the way to our homes? And how do we control it where it goes? As electricity has been generated, a transformer allows electricity to travel long distances in the transmission lines. This moves to smaller lines which travel further to even smaller distribution lines in your neighborhood. The power is then decreased to a safe amount to be used inside our homes. Inside, there is a meter that measures how much electricity we use every month. From our outlets, we can charge a rechargeable battery as an example. Let's talk about a battery which stores energy in a chemical form. Battery, like charges, have both positive and negative terminal, also called a cathode and an anode. These terminals are separated with ionic liquid. When we use our phones, as an example, our charged lithium-ion battery discharges itself, providing electrical current through your phone. Charges or ions are carried from the negative to the positive terminal. Then, when our battery is empty, we charge it from our outlets. When charging the battery, it forces an opposite procedure, forcing charged particles away from the positive terminal to the negative terminal to allow the cycle to repeat itself. Electrical current, however, moves from the positive terminal to the negative one, and there has to be an electrical path for the current to move. This path can be highly complex, as an example in your phones, allowing for many different functions. The complicated path is an electrical circuit which is designed by electrical engineers. So how do lightnings then form? The lightning itself is an electrical current between a positive and a negative terminal, similar in the way that the battery was described. But what is the source? In the clouds, when the air below gets warm, it rises up, causing clouds to thicken up and get bigger. But at a certain height above the ground, the temperature is freezing, causing the warm air or vapor of tiny particles to freeze. When these particles start to hit each other, these collisions build up charges. Positive charges form above and negative below. Now, when the charges grow big enough, a path can be formed between these two different terminals for a short moment, causing an electrical discharge or electrical current for a brief moment.